Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. Binky and I are so glad you're here, and we're so glad to be reading new releases together. You know, I was supposed to film a different kind of video today, and I don't know how many times I've said that over the past couple of months. It's probably been a few. I have these list videos all ready to go in my mind. Like, I've read all of the books for the lists, and the idea of like sitting down and typing notes for 50 books just like isn't really striking my fancy lately. What is striking my fancy though is reading new releases, reading things that I am genuinely hyped about. And I feel like I often hear over here on this channel the complaint that I don't read things that I like, and I'm hoping today that I'm going to be reading things that I like, okay? So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm genuinely jazzed. We're going to go to Barnes & Noble together. We're going to hang out together. Hayden is not going to be here for this video. Not that he's really here on this channel that much anyway, but I'm on my own for dinner. We have like the whole day to spend together reading books, and it's going to be a delight. You notice I have not said romance. 2 of the books are going to be romance. 1 is not, but it's going to be an adventure, and we're going to find new things that we like. Speaking of new things that I like, can we talk about the sponsor of today's video? The sponsor of today's video is not new to this channel, but I have found a new discovery with them. Let me briefly tell you what I'm talking about. Parade is sponsoring today's video, and I am always so thrilled to work with Parade because they are truly the only underwear that I wear at this point. They're the only undies that I have in my drawer. They have been with me through thick and through thin, through many different, I don't want to say iterations of my body, but through body changes. And I absolutely love that no matter what, I can rely on Parade for super, super comfortable underwear. I also feel like lately I have really been like nailing down what I enjoy in underwear. I feel like I have my preferences at this point. I've got my tried and trues. And when I went to place my order with Parade recently, I noticed that they had a new underwear that intrigued me, right? My like go-to is the Replay high-waisted brief in the color 8-ball. I have so many of those in my underwear drawer, but I saw their new cotton thong and I was like, as a thong convert, if you will. I used to wear a ton of thongs. Then I was really into high-waisted underwear. I mean, I'm still in high-waisted underwear, full coverage underwear specifically. I was like, you know, it would be nice to have some new thongs in the mix. I got these thongs and I remarked to Hayden immediately upon trying these on that they are the best thongs that I have ever put on my body. They are whisper thin, but not flimsy. They are so soft. They're so breathable. They're high-waisted. They give you good coverage in the front. Nothing is worse than putting on a thong, in my humble opinion, feeling like you're going to fall out of them, feeling like too much is exposed in the front. Like, obviously there's stuff exposed in the back, but like in the front, I need coverage. Provide the coverage that I want. They're also so high-waisted. Cannot stand a low-waisted undie. You know what I'm so thrilled about is the fact that I have these in my drawer right now. I have 5 pairs that I have been cycling through and washing, but I kept 1 pair in a bag to show you so I could show you like a new fresh pair. I'm excited to rip these out of the package so I can like add these to my rotation, right? I've been missing this 1 pair of underwear. That is how passionately I feel about these, that I'm like upset missing 1 pair from my drawer. Like, they are that freaking good. I mean, amazing. They don't look crazy. They don't look wildly innovative, but they are just the best. Like, look at the coverage. Look at the coverage. Hello. You're not going to have anything spilling out of these. The rise, I literally can't get enough of these. I sound crazed, but I am genuinely so into these. And I think that if you like thongs, you like high-waisted undies, these might be it for you. Though, that being said, Parade has so many different styles to choose from, different fabrics too, different colors. If you're a little more adventurous than me, I pretty much stick to 8-ball, which is their black shade, but have a ton of different like patterns. And anyway, like I said, Parade is always there for me with the most comfortable, most incredible underwear. And you know, this year has been off to a rocky start for I think a lot of us, and you deserve comfortable underwear. You deserve undies that fit, that you don't have to second guess. You're reaching into your drawer wondering if you're going to pull out a pair that's actually going to fit you all day and not, you know, ride up, not be uncomfortable. You need to check out Parade. Okay, Chandler 30 is going to get you 30% off Parade's already incredible prices. Thanks again to Parade for sponsoring this portion of today's video. Now let's head over to Barnes & Noble and secure us some new releases, shall we? Hello divas, hopefully Chan of the future told you what's up, but I just went to Barnes & Noble and I thought I would do a little book haul for you before we get into the vlog portion of this video, because I did buy a book that I was not expecting to buy. That book would be You Between the Lines by Katie Naiman. I don't typically buy things anymore that are not for videos. It's part of my like no buy that I'm doing over on my vlog channel. I'm just trying not to add to my ever-growing TBR. I inevitably don't end up reading the books that aren't for videos, so I had to this time, simply because they got me with the buy one get one 50% off deal at Barnes & Noble. I'm not saving any money by buying an additional book, but you know, here I am being stupid. This just sounded kind of interesting to me. The first sentence didn't. It says, Lee Simon loves reading poetry. And y'all know how I feel about poetry, right? I'm not a huge fan. I liked what else was going on with this book, which is that someone called her writing all style, no substance. It was her high school crush during a writing workshop 10 years ago. Now she's in a master's program to rebuild her creative confidence, and who should appear but that same guy, her literary nemesis, William Langford. And and it kind of sounds like he's maybe liked her this entire time. And we do know how I feel about that, which is that I'm a big fan. So that is one of the books that I purchased. And then the other two are indeed for this vlog, and I'm sure you saw them in the thumbnail. We've got First Time Caller by Miss Burger King Borson. This is kind of the sole reason that I went to Barnes & Noble, though I was so excited for this one. But this book is, I think, about a guy who like runs his own, I'm gonna say a TV show. It's actually, I think, like a radio show. And he gives dating advice, and then this woman calls in, or her daughter calls in and is like, hey, like, I need advice for my mommy. And I think that those two start dating, like the mommy and Eden Valentine, the host of Baltimore's Romance Hotline. How fun is that? I'm very excited for this one. I absolutely love BK Borson, and I'm really curious to see what she does outside of her Love Light series. I'm sure this is going to be phenomenal, and this is what we're starting with. And then I got Abducted by Aliens, and Now I'm Trapped in Rom-Com by Kimberly Lemming. I have not read any of the books by this author. I know that she is rather prolific and has written other books with similarly funny titles. I just wanted to give one of these a go. This one just came out. That's kind of the whole point of this video. We're gonna have some fun together. That is kind of the point of the video. Additionally, I'm going to be finishing The Golden Raven by Nora Sakovic. It is the sequel to Sunshine Court. It's a part of the All for the Game series, and I'm a big slut for the Foxhole Court. So was I supposed to film a list video today instead? Yes, but I wasn't mentally prepared to make the notes for that. So that's why we're vlogging instead, you know? Depression will get you. Okay, we don't need to get into it. First time caller, let's get into that. I don't think we talked about the fact that I'm using a mini mic for this entire video, but you're welcome, I guess. First time caller by BK Borison. 100 pages in. I also have a binky right here, and he'll probably remain there for most of this. This is so cute. I'm liking it. I knew that I would. We've got Aiden, we've got Lucy, and we've got Maya, who is Lucy's 12-year-old daughter. So Maya calls into Aiden's radio show, is trying to get dating advice for her mom, because her mom has really never dated as long as Maya's been alive. Apparently, Lucy got pregnant the first time she had sex, so she really doesn't have that much experience with dating. She's tried a couple of times, like on the dating apps and things like that, to find her a person, but it has not worked out for her. And she has this really nice monologue whenever she gets on the show. Basically, Maya calls in for her mom, and Lucy ends up overhearing Maya on the phone. She's like, who the fuck are you talking to? Stranger danger. And then Lucy goes on the phone and like talks to Aiden, and she does this delightful monologue about how she wants magic and she wants a relationship that is romantic and effortless, and she doesn't have to be fake in, which a lot of people relate to. The clip goes viral, and this marks the start of something really special for both Aiden and Lucy, because Lucy, again, like, she doesn't have as much experience with dating as she wants, slash, does she really want to date? She's not really sure, because, like, life's been so taken up by her job and by her kid, and she just doesn't feel like she has the time to devote to this kind of thing. Aiden has been running this show called Heartstrings for a long time, and it has not been going so well over the past like 6 months to a year. It's been on the air for over 6 years, I think. He normally just gives like relationship advice and things like that, but lately the people who've been calling in have been irritating him, and he feels like he has lost his desire to help people fall in love. But he has this connection with Lucy when they talk on the phone. And anyway, the part that I just got to, Lucy has been asked to come to the studio and basically help Aiden. In what capacity, we're not entirely sure. I think that Lucy is going to attempt to find a partner. I think she's going to attempt to date. It's going to be sort of like a bachelorette kind of situation, maybe. Sorry for the slight change in angle. My camera's being weird. But anyway, I think Lucy is going to maybe date people, maybe have some fun while she is helping Aiden, I guess, on the show. I'll be curious to see how much of this book is like her dating other people versus like her potentially offering dating advice on the show. Like, I don't know what the format's going to be yet, but she has agreed to like come on the show, and I think that's really cool. And Lucy and Aiden have kind of like a meet cute situation outside of the studio before they like know who the other person is, and I don't know, I'm rooting for them. I really like Aiden. I like that at the beginning of this book we get to, I don't want to say like understand him a ton. We don't know a ton about him except for that his mother recently recovered from cancer and is like living her best life with Aiden's dad on a road trip. But I do know that he is feeling a little bit restless, and I really appreciate when books get to the point quickly in the beginning. I know that not everybody likes that. Some people like a little bit more lead up to the problems, I guess, of the story, but I like that very quickly, like, we know what this book is going to be. It doesn't feel like a rush necessarily, but we're not spending a lot of time piddling around, if you will. So far, I'm enjoying it so far. She's cute. This BK Borson has not been letting me down. Oh, oh, I don't know about all that. I do have a Bink with me though, and I actually have many boys with me, and we could all say hi to the boys, maybe? There he is. They're my stinky boys. Okay. Hello friends. from me and my mini microphone. I'm 50% into first time caller, and I was going to try to grab it. I don't have enough hands for all of this. I am still enjoying this. I actually switched to the audiobook though. I had an extra credit from Audible. I don't really use Audible to be honest, but I stay subscribed because occasionally I need to use them. Anyway, it's like, you know what? This book seems like something that would be better consumed via audio. Not that the book itself is bad, like to read with my eyes, but I wanted to give it a go. And I have to say, I think that the way that the hero's voice is described doesn't necessarily match up with the male narrator for this book, but I am mostly okay with it. We have gotten into the dating portion of the book. We have our heroine dating some people who have like called into the show and or are interested in dating her. She has gotten stood up. She has had a bad dating experience, and so far she really has not had any luck. What she does have though is Aiden coming to her rescue whenever she gets stood up, and now they are going on like a little date together. And they haven't really like talked about it. It's not like assumed or presumed to be romantic, but there's been some caresses. His dialogue, well, internal dialogue, says that he has a crush on her, which we love. I love a good crush. I don't know, I like it. I think it's cute. I need a little bit more, I will say, interaction between hero and heroine. Not that they're not having interactions, but like I think I want more on air time with them. I think we kind of like glazed over that part of the book, and I'm hoping we get back to that after like the dating situation, like maybe not like starting at square one, but kind of like, okay, our dates haven't been going well, so like let's chat and get to know each other even better, like over the air, maybe not even over there. I just like want more interactions between hero and heroine. I like both of them a lot. I'm getting the giggles, like I'm getting the swoonies, but like I need just a little bit more. And I think he wanted to say hi again. So I thought I would show you. Oh my god, not his leg. Not his little leg. I think he's leaving because he's sick of me, and that's fair enough. Would you like to say hello? Okay, wait, I have to show you this. Pigeon just got really close to his brother. He is like a little cuddle bug, and not everybody appreciates his advances. I am curious as to when Ted is going to get up because he's normally not a fan, but look at this smooth footage, y'all. We got a gimbal going. Premium bean content. This is better than me talking about books. I think we can all agree. Okay, I'm gonna go eat dinner. Like I said, maybe I'm on my own today. Hayden is at like a work dinner, so I'm on my lonesome. But I want to finish this book so that I can move on to the Golden Raven. I've been reading this book for like 30 minutes to an hour every night for the past like couple of nights, and it's not even that long of a book. I'm just savoring it, but I need to finish it because I need to move on with my life. Honestly, I don't want to move on with my life, but I feel like I need to. What we're not going to move on from is this though. Hello, he is precious. Hands free yet again. Let's talk about first time caller, and then we can talk about Golden Raven. Okay, that's what it's called, right? Yeah, the Golden Raven. Okay, first time caller. So conflicted about this book because I genuinely really did enjoy this. The sex scenes in this book, very hot, very hot. And I'm not saying I didn't expect it from BK, but I don't remember this level of steam in Love Light Farms. Like, I think there were, I don't want to say tamer scenes. I don't know. It just felt a little bit amped up, and I personally really enjoyed that. My issue lies with the hero in this book. I'm conflicted because on the one hand, I think that things he was going through were very realistic, but on the other hand, I don't like heroes like this. Which isn't to say he had a bad personality. I just felt like his point of conflict, and I guess the conflict overall of this story, was really based on like a kind of like insecurity on his part. Not like a lack of confidence in himself, but just some of the things that have happened in his life make him reluctant to love. To me, there's nothing more pitiful than I don't want to say than a woman chasing after a man, but like it's not what I want to read in romance. And that is such a personal preference thing. I just don't like that. That's how this book felt to me. And I know that that probably was not the author's intention. It's just a very personal hang up of mine that I don't like in books. So that makes this one hard for me to rate. I think I'm probably going to give this book 4 stars because I realized like on a fairly objective level, very well written, sex scene's great, relationship development was certainly there. Pepper's also certainly here looking at me. Do you want to say anything to the people? No, he does not. He just wants pets. Yeah, I don't know. I wish. I say that. I mean, there was like a romantic gesture and everything too. Like the hero apologizes for like being shitty, but maybe be less shitty. I just felt like it was like he was shitty for too long. Let's leave this here. Okay, let's leave this here. I've been talking about this one so much. Let's talk about the Golden Raven because that is really like where it's at. Okay, I don't have a physical copy of this. I am reading on my Kindle, which has, an ad lock screen. I don't know if we've talked about this. I love lock screen ads on a Kindle. I would pay extra money to have ads on my Kindle. Okay, maybe I wouldn't pay extra money, but I certainly love them. This is Wings of Ink, and he's pretty handsome. I like that. I get ideas for new things to read. I've also done a video reading books from Kindle lock screen ads. I'll try to link that video in the description. It was unloved when I posted it, for the record, but I thought it was a fun concept. Yes, the back of my Kindle does say slut. Okay, The Golden Raven. How to describe a book that you probably don't want to read. I don't know. There are a few of you, there are a handful of you who care about my opinions about this book, and I want to share them because, can I just say, and I have said this book is the reason I'm making this video. Yes, I'm avoiding responsibility and not typing up notes for 50 books for a list video that I need to make expeditiously because I've like read the books for it, but also I just really want to read this book, okay? I really want to read this book. It's about our main character, Jean. He is a raven, I guess, like from Edgar Allan University. He plays a fictional sport called XE. It's not fictional to him, but it's fictional to us because the sport doesn't exist in real life. However, it is this kind of like brutal indoor lacrosse kind of thing, okay? And Jean used to play at this university that basically abused its students, abused its student athletes. Jean was treated much, much worse than the majority of the other Ravens, okay? He has a lot of trauma from this abuse. Any kind of abuse you can think of, he probably suffered it. So he is dealing with a lot mentally, and he's trying to pretend his problems don't exist. And in the first book in the series, we get to see him coming from that university where he experienced a pretty catastrophic injury and being kind of forcibly transferred to a new university in California. Edgar Allan, I think, is like West Virginia or something, somewhere over on the East Coast. But this new university is USC. Okay, so he's going to be a Trojan on the Sunshine Court. And we have grown to know the Sunshine Court through the original trilogy, the original All for the Game trilogy, but we've never really gotten to spend a lot of time with these characters. So we are hanging out these characters. We've got Kat, we've got Layla, we've got Jeremy, a whole host of characters. I think that's what makes these books so fun is you've got a found family, you've got characters who you just grow to love pretty much immediately, and especially in this case, as opposed to the original trilogy, you've got characters who are instantly likable and instantly interesting. Not that the other ones aren't interesting, but the whole point of the Foxhole Court is that it's found family, but everybody's kind of fucked up in their own ways over there. And that's not to say that people don't have trauma in this series besides John, but you know, it's a little different. It's a little different of a vibe. But we're in California, it's beachy, it's kind of fun. But this book is a continuation of the first one, and I don't want to get into too many of the spoilers because I feel like that would be unexciting. But we have Jean continuing to recover from his trauma and his abuse. We have him making strides in some of his friendships, and the strides are maybe not what you would expect if you were unfamiliar with the series. It's not like he has got like close bonds and is like, you know, confiding in people. That's not him. That's probably never going to be him, but we're seeing it. And I think that's what I like so much about these books is subtlety. And you might say, no, there's no subtlety. It's a sledgehammer, whatever. But I really like that trauma is not glazed over. It's not something that people instantly recover from. And, you know, we're instantly talking about our feelings. Not that that's the wrong way to write that for a character. I think it just depends on the character themselves. And I think that Nora Sakovic does a really good job at taking characters with trauma, giving them realistic outcomes maybe, and or a realistic path to recovery. Like John has like setbacks, you know, sometimes he'll make some strides in an area and sometimes he'll have some setbacks in that same area. And I find it just very interesting and I like want to root for his character. And additionally, I've really been enjoying this book because we're getting more insight into Jeremy. The way that Nora Sakovic writes, these books are not necessarily romance, but you ship people pretty hard, okay? And Jeremy is Jean's partner on the court. He is someone who has really been looking out for Jean. He kind of wanted him to come specifically to the Sunshine Court. And so he has really taken John under his wing and is less concerned with his skill in this sport and is more concerned with helping him heal and become a happy individual after the abuse that he suffered. But Jeremy's character is pretty interesting. He has some trauma of his own. He has a complicated family, and we're learning about that in this book, which I find interesting. So the last book was kind of like the summer before kind of the school year and or the XC season starts. This is kind of the end of the summer leading into beginning of the school year. So we are starting, I think, maybe to get some XC matches, but we're definitely seeing Jeremy in a new location. He was living with Jean and Kat and Layla. Now he is living somewhere different. Yeah, things are getting so interesting. I don't want to like spoil everything. I'm not. I think this is just like things that are happening in the plot. And if that's a spoiler to you, I'm sorry, but also I know many of you aren't going to read this book, but I'm so intrigued and I want to learn more about Jeremy's past. I feel like we're getting more of it, but I want to know more. And that's literally what these books are, is just constantly wanting more. Nora, I'm not saying she gives us crumbs, but she is slow to reveal information. And I eat that shit up. Like, I don't like when authors throw things at us, which I think is ironic because I know that I said I liked when this book like started and told us what it was going to be from the beginning. I do like that. But for stories that handle trauma more hands-on, I guess, deeper topics, like this is kind of a fun rom-com. Like that's a different story. Like let's get to the point. If we're doing something a little different, if we're doing something again that has like deep emotions, like unveil things slowly for me, okay? And she's doing that. She's doing that. I love this. It's so good. And I'm excited to like go scream at Erin about this. I really did not know that Erin liked this series. Erin from Booked and Busy, if you're not subscribed, I don't know what you're doing. Link in the description down below. She talks mostly fantasy. If you like fantasy, go over there. But now that I know Erin likes this, she's gonna be so sick of me. I don't know anyone who likes these books. I'm not saying that like there are not fellow booktubers who do. I just don't personally know of any. So it's nice to have friends who like the same books that you do. And that's why it's hard sometimes. You know, here, I'm going to put a little aside and a little rant because this little microphone makes me want to rant. I get the critique often over on this channel that I bitch a lot, which is true, that I read books that I don't always love, which is true to an extent. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One, cannot predict what I'm going to like ahead of time. I am not a fortune teller. I do not have the secrets to the universe like before me when I pick up a book. But additionally, the things that I like are not always things that other people will like. Yes, this is my channel. I can talk about whatever I want, but it does behoove me often to talk about books that are more popular because people will watch those videos, right? I feel like that's not really a secret. It's not like I have some like super edgy underground taste in books, but if I only picked up books that I liked, I probably wouldn't be picking up very many books. I also don't, again, I don't know how to predict what I'm gonna like. And yeah, I don't know. I just would continue to like reread old series, I think, most likely. I don't know. This is like not very coherent. I think you get the point though, okay? I think you get the point. But thank you for like letting me indulge yapping about things I like sometimes. Okay, this is mainstream. This is mainstream and I enjoyed this. So, you know, I don't hate everything. Just most things, okay? What I don't hate though, oh my God, is a bath. And I get to listen to the delicious sounds of Pepper eating his wet food dinner whilst I take a bath. So, luckiest girl in the world, I think so. I'm gonna go do that because my hair is disgusting and I want to look really beautiful for the thumbnail. I'll be back tomorrow with my final thoughts on this book, and then we can get started on this baddie. I'm genuinely so hyped for this. I got abducted by aliens. Now I'm trapped in a rom-com. Hello. I just have to know what the hype's about. I gotta know, besties. We've got things to talk about. We have things to talk about. It was so good. I mean, 5 stars. Loved it. It was it was everything I needed it to be. Maybe it wasn't everything that I wanted it to be. I really I wanted physical intimacy between Jeremy and John, and I knew that it was going to be too soon for that to happen, okay? I wanted it to happen. It didn't really happen, though. I did see a lot of progress for Jean in this book that was so encouraging, so heartening, so delightful to read. I loved seeing the transformation of his character. Like the first book, we see Jean very, very rarely or very barely, I guess, recovering from some of the things that have happened to him. And it made sense. And I was excited to see where he went. And then in this book, he really does start to recover. He really starts to understand why this team does things the way that they do. And I don't think we talked about like the game aspect of this book very much, but the matches are a huge portion of this book. Well, not this book in particular, but of the books in general. Like these are sports books and they have a lot of sports at their center. Like we're learning what people are doing like during the matches. We are in the game. More so in the first trilogy, but like definitely here as well. John playing this sport in such a different way than he has previously. It is indoor lacrosse essentially, but with the brutality of hockey. So people are body checking each other and hurting each other. And some teams choose to lean into that more than others, right? The USC Trojans do not lean into that at all. They are perhaps the least violent of all of the teams. And John is coming from the most violent team and he's having to adapt to a completely different playing style and having to fight some of the urges that he has to hurt others. He doesn't actually want to hurt others though, and that is what he finds out in this book. Like he does not actually have the desire to repeat what was done to him. He doesn't want to be like his old team. And it was just so lovely seeing him come to these realizations on his own, to get to communicate that to Jeremy, and it was delightful. I will say, kind of heartbroken and upset at some things that happen in this book, though. There is something pretty fucked up that happens to multiple characters kind of near the end of the book that I don't want to spoil, but I was really sad about that. I think most people would be sad at it. Leave it to Nora Sakovic to like really wreck you emotionally. Like that's just kind of what she does. But also she puts you back together. She like glues you up really good. At the end of the book, there was also like just such a delightful moment between like the four main characters, Jeremy, John, Kat, and Layla. And I don't know. I'm so curious to see how the series ends and where the relationship goes. I think in this book, like, no, we don't really get physical intimacy. I don't think that's a spoiler to say. And if it is, you're welcome, because I think that it's nice to know going into this book that like you're not going to get that. I kind of wish that I had known that so I wouldn't have been like waiting for it every page. I could have just like sat back and relaxed a little bit, but I really liked the physical intimacy that we did have. Like it wasn't sexual intimacy, but we did have John becoming more comfortable with like touching other people, with giving kisses on foreheads, with affection towards animals. I don't know. It was just really, really sweet. And I liked also getting like kind of internal dialogue between Jeremy and John and like them finding their attraction for each other. Ooh, okay. No one does it like Nora. I don't think these books are for everybody. And in fact, I really don't recommend them for most, but I have to yap about it because I fucking loved it, okay? And like that's the whole point of this video is me talking about the things I like, okay? And or new releases. I mean, I don't love all new releases, as evidenced by this book. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about this. That book was 5 stars, okay? First time caller was 4 stars. We're having a good time. Okay. This book is about our main character, Dorothy. She is getting her PhD in wildlife biology when she is attacked by a lion. I'm not trying to read off of the back cover, but like that is genuinely what happens in this book. Dorothy gets abducted by aliens while she is being attacked by this lion. And apparently these aliens only abduct people who are like going to die and therefore won't be missed, I guess, in regular society. Not really sure. But Dorothy like crash lands onto this planet that is very Earth-like, has dinosaurs walking around, and then these like aliens inhabiting as well, who have hooves and tails, but are humanoid, I suppose. Anyway, when the other kinds of aliens, I guess, were abducted, they were crash landed onto this planet, and the aliens that abducted them and crash landed them onto this planet didn't realize they'd only abducted male aliens. And so they're like, okay, well, we're gonna go and get some female aliens or female creatures to bring back to the planet. I mean, are aliens in this context really if like every creature is foreign? Regardless, Dorothy crash lands and she winds up having a lot of sex with 2 aliens. Yeah, she meets this one guy who like saves her from being killed by a dinosaur, and then she meets another guy. She's introduced to another fellow, and they all bone. They have threesomes. I don't know what to say about this one because I don't hate it. Like it was fine. I don't know that I would call this a rom-com though. And I know the title is supposed to be funny. I got abducted by aliens and now I'm trapped in a rom-com. I don't know if I'd call it a rom-com. If you're getting piped within the first 80 pages. Like this really reads like KU smut with some like fun seasoned in, and I'm not upset at that. Like it's fine. It was fine. I just don't know that I really needed to spend 19 US American dollars on this. That's how I'm feeling about it. I'd probably give this like 3 stars. It was fine. I mean, there's a lot of sex. There were some sexual terms used that I wasn't a huge fan of. Something about petals or flowers or greedy flower was dripping, or clearly I don't have a ton of coherent thoughts about this one. But I think that if you want something kind of fun and silly, I would recommend getting this from your library. I'm not saying don't support the author. I'm not saying don't go out and buy this. I'm not saying this is a bad book. I just don't think this is like the kind of swoony romance that I think a lot of y'all are looking for. So I think if you know what you are getting going into this, like maybe you'll fuck with it. I just don't think like the romance was really like developed enough for this to even be a rom-com. It was a mildly funny, smutty book, I guess is what I would call this. So yeah, 3 stars here. I think a 5, a 4, and a 3 star though for a video from yours truly is pretty good. I think that's pretty great. I think that this really scratched an itch. I hate that, but like, what else could I say? Satisfied me. That has an undertone that I don't like. These books were good, and I think that this video helped me because I've just been in a bit of a reading rut, and it was nice to get outside of my comfort zone with some of these and to just have fun, generally speaking. So yeah, next week you're going to be seeing that list video. I am going to hold my feet to the fire, and type up the notes and actually film that video. It's going to be a good one. It's one that I'm very excited for y'all to see, but you know, it's been like pulling teeth to get me to do it. But you know what? I'm doing it next week. You're going to see it on Sunday. Thanks for watching this. I feel so much, and I'll see you in the next one.